Okay, for this video I'm going to do a review on the 1.8 litre Bushpot by Three Dog Stove. This is quite a new pot on the market at the moment. It was advertised mainly by Dave Canterbury. As soon as I saw him use it, I knew I wanted one, and I got one for Christmas. So quite a few people have been asking me, is it worth the money, what's so good about it, things like that. So I thought I'd do a bit of a review on why I decided to buy it and why I think it's a lot better alternative to the standard Zebra billy can that the majority of people use. You know, Zebra billy can is kind of the iconic bushcraft pot that you hang over your fire, but I really think this one does kind of outweigh it in every way, really. The only downside people may see is the fact it's made of aluminium, or aluminum as you say over the pond. Obviously some people have that thing about aluminum. Is it toxic, is it not? But you know, it doesn't bother me, and if it doesn't bother you, then I think you'll find this a really good alternative to having a billy can, a Zebra billy can. Obviously over here in the United Kingdom we can only buy it from over in America, so we have a really we've got that postage charge which the Americans don't have, which is one of those things where it's kind of like, is it actually worth getting it, because it is quite a lot of money for a pot, because the charge is the postage charge for America is about half the price of the pot, I found. And obviously it could get stuck in customs as well, where there's another additional charge. But I think it's worth it, and I'm going to go through why right now. So the first thing, it's 1.8 litre, so you can get a lot of water in there, and you can get basically enough water in there for 4 people to have a decent cup of tea or a coffee or whatever you like to drink. It's perfect size for getting a ball in the bag meal in there. You know, I had a 1.2 litre Zebra billy can before this, and it was a little bit of a struggle to get a ball in the bag meal in there. You could do it, but it's a lot easier with this. It fits in there very easily. The handle, it's a steel bar instead of the Zebra billy can was quite a wide bar. I'm sure you all know what I'm on about. And the problem I found with that is the bar wouldn't sit on a stick properly. This is my Zebra, this is my squirrel cooker here, for instance, and see how it's bent in there. It sits in that bend quite well. Where if it was a Zebra billy can, that wide bar it's got, it wouldn't sit in there quite as nicely. And when I'm out camping, I tend to use sticks to hang my pot over the fire. And having that wide bar on the Zebra billy can, it was a big problem. It didn't sit in the stick properly. It always slipped out, and it was always a bit of a hassle. Where with this very thin bar, it sits in a notch on a stick very, very well. And obviously it's got the locking mechanisms all the way around. These will wear out eventually after a couple of years of use, but it's nice to have for the meantime. So that's a really good feature, I think, that just having a really thin bar for your hanging. Then obviously you've got the butterfly handles on the back, and that makes it accessible for pouring. The problem with the Zebra billy can was you'd have to pour with the hanging bar, and you'd have to pour it kind of sideways, and it would flip around like this. And it was possible, you know, I did it for a whole year, and it worked. But this is a much better method. It's much easier. It's just a nice, you can use it for a kettle and a cook pot very, very easily, basically. On the front you've got a spout, only a slight spout, so it's not going to get knocked and it's not going to get in the way when it's in your bag, but it's just enough to be able to get a nice pour out of that as a kettle. And it's quite nice for straining as well. If you had, say, rice or something in there, you can strain the water out of there quite easily. And then the next best the final feature that I really like is the lid. It's got a very nice snug lid. This has. It was even snugger than this when I first got it, but it's loosened up a little bit now. But it's perfect. With the Zebra, it's a very loose fit lid. With the Zebra billy can, and it was really starting to annoy me that the lid was always falling off when it was inside my pack, rattling around. And this doesn't. I don't get that at all. It's such a nice little. You can hear that. Just comes off nice. Nice snug fit. And then the final thing is the lid, the latch on the lid, the little handle. Obviously on the Zebra billy can you've got a straight kind of handle, which is the lid's kind of dented in, so that the little latch thing is straight, and you can't exactly get your finger in there or get a stick in there. It's a little bit awkward. Whereas with this, they've designed it perfectly. Just see there, they've just kind of bent it up slightly so you can just get a stick in there perfectly, and it lifts up. A lot of thought has got into this, I can tell. You know, just little things like that just make it that little bit easier, just to get your stick in, to get your lid off. Where with a zebra billy cane, you'd have to faff around and try and get the balance and try and get it to stick in. And I know you all know what I'm talking about, because a lot of people have got the zebra billy cans. And yeah, this is definitely the next thing in the market for hanging your billy can. It's anodised aluminium, by the way, so it does come with it's kind of got a grey look to it. This is obviously blackened off well now. When it did come, it had a kind of nice grey anodised look to it. Basically all that does is makes it easier to be able to scrub the black off, but I never really bother. I only kind of wash this thing kind of maybe once a year or something. There's no point, because by the time I washed it, I'm back out again. So yeah, I hope this gives you a good overview of the pot. Like I say, any questions, let me know and I'll get back to you straight away. But I definitely do think it's worth a buy. Even with that extra postage charge, it just makes life a lot easier when cooking outdoors, especially over the open fire. Maybe not so much if you're using a stove. You know, I've seen a couple of people using these on stoves, where fair enough, that's what you want to do. But if you're cooking over a fire a lot like I do, this is definitely worth a purchase. Highly recommended from me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you got any questions, just pop them in the comments. And thanks for watching.